Well, it is great to be with you again for my weekly pastor update. And today we have Dr. Sarah Skidmore, who is the director of our communications, doing an amazing job and is here. And Dr. Sarah, welcome. I'm so thankful for you and your work on our team and in our church family. You have truly been a blessing to us and have helped us, and your leadership of Micah and her work and the team you run has really moved us miles. And so I'm grateful for you, Dr. Sarah, and I thank you for being with me tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Glad to be here.
Well, tonight we're going to do a little bit of reversal. We're going to flip the tables, and I'm going to have Dr. Sarah ask me some questions about one of the hot topics in church right now, which is missions. A lot of conversation going on around missions and some of the challenges through the pandemic and some of the opportunities as we come out of the pandemic. And tonight we're going to talk kind of at a high level. I know we're going to get into this later on, but tonight we're going to talk about some of the thinking behind the madness. So take it away.
All right. So this year, as you know, we're celebrating your 30th year in ministry. So
Good
that is
Lord.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things from your experience these past several decades of how has missions succeeded in different environments that you've been in?
Yeah, thank you for that. And I have had a deep interest in missions. I've mentioned in church, my mom was a missionary before I was born, and I grew up having lots of missionaries over the house. In fact, at one point, felt called into missions before God kind of steered me towards the church here. So I have a heart for that and have participated in that. And over the years, I've seen things change a bit. And missions has definitely taken on a different tone and focus in recent years over past years. But some of the underlying values are the same. And one of them is that effective missions, however we want to define it, is relational. It's about building relationships with people and connecting with them and valuing them as God's child and learning from them and listening to them. It's less and less transactional. It's less and less about I'm going and giving you what I have to offer you, or I'm going and giving you what I think you need, and much more about I'm coming, I'm just going to be here to be with you and to learn from you. And together, let's talk about what you feel a need for. And I'm willing to serve you that way. And so relational over transactional, it's also about transformation. I think missions that goes well is there's two parts of transformation. There's the transformation externally, that is in the world. The world is different. You know, we know God is moving the world towards his reign on earth as it is in heaven. And the kingdom keeps moving that way. So there's change in God's reign. And then there's transformation internally as I am exposed to different stories. If I'm exposed to different cultures and different um, challenges, then that changes my story. And so really good missions creates missionaries, like, ongoing. The Catholic Church talks about the ruined life. Good missions ruins people's lives in the good way. It changes their perspective permanently to see others as children of Christ.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so when we think about our church in particular, we have so many members and we have
Yeah,
so many different ministry areas and individuals with different passions and whatnot.
right.
Can you speak to some of the importance about why it's so critical that as a church family, we have a shared understanding of how we're going to approach and go about missions?
Yeah, what a relevant question. Many of the ministries we were doing could not be done in the pandemic, and we're in a place where we are talking about what does this look like into the future day. And as life is different after the pandemic for all of us in several different ways, it will be different in terms of missions as well, even down to where can we go safely and can we go safely and can we meet with people? No, all that is yet. So shared vision is a relevant question right now. And I think the power of shared vision is threefold. First of all, it creates excellence. I have certain gifts that God has given me. You have certain gifts, and my gifts are not your gifts, and your gifts are not my gifts. I mean, we work together as a team because you have this excellence, and I have excellence in some areas. Everyone has excellence in some area. And so when we share that vision and we work together, it goes beyond one or two people and therefore becomes better and deeper and broader. And so I always believe in shared vision because it makes it more excellent. And second, it makes it more sustainable. You know, when we build and peg ministry on an individual, a pastor, a staff person, a lay leader, and that individual is the ministry, then when that person can't lead it anymore, the ministry goes away. And we see that far too often. And so sharing vision and buying into together creates sustainability way beyond ourselves. And then the third level, I think, the importance of shared vision is it helps us keep our focus on the need out in other people than the need in ourselves. You know, we all have anxieties, we all have desires, we all have things that we want to accomplish. And when we don't have a shared vision, we spend a lot of time working out our own internal anxieties and needs. And so having that shared focus allows us to kind of bypass that and go to where we're called to minister.
Awesome. And the final question I have for you tonight is, as we look into 2021 and what that is going to look like for missions, and as we work out what that's going to be, what are some of those important aspects for this year that you find important for missions?
Yes, thank you. Again, incredibly relevant because this church has had such a strong history of missions, and this church has been such a giving church. I'm so grateful for the pioneers and the people that have gone before, the saints that have invested deeply in caring for people and being in missions. And we have this incredible history of saints who are involved in that. And so looking ahead is really critical because we want to continue to be and build upon what's been done. I think one of the pieces that is happening is there is a intentional focus on going deeper and not broader. And perhaps in the past, some of the focus has been about having a lot of different opportunities, which is wonderful. But one of the movement we're hearing in the church from people is to delve deeper and to bring deeper transformation by going deeper. I can have a fluorescent light that illuminates the room, and that's wonderful, that's good. But if I sharpen that light down into a spotlight or into a laser, I get much deeper transformation. And so one of the movements is going to be, you know, to kind of sharpen down what we're focused on. And that doesn't mean we can't do other things. You know, people do not need the church to feed people. People do not need the church to create a food bag. And we still do that. We do not need the church to give the missions, that we still do that. But what is a church going to do? We're going to continue to kind of sharpen and deepen our focus. And then the second part of that is that we are really going to focus on the intergenerational piece. That's a value in this church. It's been a core value in the church from before when I arrived, that we want multiple generations. And so what ministries are we doing that are working with whole families, working across different generations? And there's a number that we're doing that kind of fit into that. Anua, Foundry, Family Promise, Children's Home. These are all ministries that kind of fit into that transformational work within and across generations. And so those are two of the movements that I would see in the coming year, 2021.
Awesome. Well, Pastor David, thank you so much. And for all of you, as always, make sure to check out our website for all kinds of updates and information about missions, as well as follow us on social media. And be on the lookout because every month we do have a missions moment in our worship service. So thanks for your time. And we look forward to seeing how our missions ministry continues to evolve this year.
Thank you, and God bless.